Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 16. Wow, already 16 weeks into the year. DJI Avata 2 is here. Welcome to everybody. Good to see everybody. Let's go over and see who we got in. We got a full house already here tonight. Drone Shots, Jaybird's here, Akarasho, John Olson, Leonard Oglesby, Lauren is here. Let's see who else we got. Fly Guy Merrill. Drone Views Media, and Richard is here. Okay, we got a full, and Sergeant Rock's here. All right, got a full house. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Actually, I was very busy today. 4 videos coming out over the next few days, so be prepared. I had a backlog of stuff. I still have a bunch of stuff. Got a great review on this is coming out probably in maybe Saturday. It's a simultaneous charger for the Mavic 3, and it is fantastic. Okay. And I put one out today. It's a simultaneous charger for the Air 3, and that's fantastic as well, too. So definitely you want to check those out. 100%. I guarantee you. You will absolutely love these. I know this one is actually 2 companies make it's actually made by, it's interesting. LK Top makes them, but 2 different companies sent me the same thing, and I'm going to do another review on it. But these work flawlessly. They work really good. There's under voltage protection, over voltage protection. You can charge them up to 60%. It's fantastic. This does not need a 100-watt adapter. It has its own. It does have a cooling fan with it, and it can be a little on the noisy side, but I'll let you watch the review on that. The one with for the Air 3, there is no cooling fan. I use the 100-watt charger for the Air 3 for that. And what's nice about that one, and you can watch the video, it works in conjunction with an app, and it gives you incredible detail about each battery. So Captain Ray, welcome. Good to see you tonight. So, guys, check them out. These are great products. I also have a review on the Lycus case for my Mavic 3 Pro. And next week, I'm going to have a Mavic 3 Pro video out there. This weekend, what I did, I had a choice of going out to fly on Sunday or do something else, and I did the something else. And the something else part was I went with Valerie to go visit her 82-year-old mom. And you know what? I can always fly drones. I want to spend time with a person who is very dear and near to me, my mother-in-law. I absolutely love her to pieces, and I look forward every time going over to see her. Founts of wisdom come out of her mouth almost all the time, which is fantastic. And she still tries to keep Valerie in line, which is good. So that's another reason why I go over there. So maybe, we can get Valerie straightened out over all that. But no, she's absolutely. I love her like I love my own mom. And I loved her dad as well, too, just like that. So, but no, that's what I did Sunday. And it was 92 today here. Okay. And, still not the oppressive humidity, but it was pretty stinking hot today. So it's all right. It's April. It's already go figure that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Drone museum. Family comes first. I can fly drones anytime. So, and besides, within less than a year, I'm going to retire. So I'll be out there doing that all the time and having a lot of fun. Okay. Got a lot to talk about tonight. And one of the first things I wanted to talk about, let's see, I need to bring that up. I think I have it on Bill the Drone Reviewer here. I want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. Banners. There we go. Okay. Femi's coming, has a Femi Mini 3 out, and it's on sale right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. This one kind of caught me by surprise. I totally didn't see that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here. All right. Regularly $349. It's now $299. Okay. And I gotta switch because I see, that's one thing with StreamYard I wish they would do is when you move over to another panel and edge, it would follow you, but it doesn't do that. So okay, here we go. Femi Mini 3 camera drone, regularly $349, now $399. And I think from what they said, they include a second battery with this, which is fantastic. This does take PayPal, which is great. And it goes over some of the specs: 4K, 60 frames per second, Sony half-inch, a 48 megapixel sensor, AI super night video, 3-axis mechanical gimbal, 9-kilometer video transmission, dual band solo link system. That's their transmission system. 250 grams USB-C fast charging battery and strong wind resistance. And there's some pictures of that. There's pictures of the video at night. 48 megapixel camera. I actually had good luck with my Mini when I had that, for the brief time that I had that. 250 grams, which is excellent. Stabilized mechanical gimbal. How about that? USB-C charging for the batteries. That's a very good thing. Strong wind resistance. To be determined. We'll see on that. There's the app. There's the controller. Live streaming? I don't think so. I think they just kind of advertise that right there. There's what it is, minus the second battery. And there's a comparison chart between the Fimi Mini 2 and the other, or Fimi Mini 3 and the Mini 2. And what is that over there? The X8 2022 V2. So yeah, so that's out and about. If any of you guys go ahead and purchase that, give me a shout. Let me know, and let me know how it's going. That's going to be real interesting here. Okay, all right, that's awesome, Ray. That's great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little skeptical on the whole Fimi kind of deal. They've had years to work out their gimbal issues with the Fimi X8 SE 2022 and the Pro and everything, and just so but it's a good experience. Hopefully this is a good drone and people will have a good experience with it. That's what I'm hoping for here. So but yeah, that one kind of caught me by surprise here. And let's see, where are we on now? Okay, yeah. Something else that just came out as well too. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Insta360. Oh, here is Mr. Marcus Crawford. How you doing, sir?
I know nothing about Insta360s.
No.
Not about that Fimi, but that camera, I got no clue.
I have no clue either. Yeah. It looks interesting. I looked at some of the video on this today. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up. It's just timing is very interesting here. I mean, it's like right after the Avata, and people have used their debit and credit cards, and then all of a sudden, boom, it comes out. You got the Avata too?
Yeah, and I got everything updated today and got it all registered, and went through all the menus and got everything set up how I want it. So probably first flight tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to have Johnny on tonight. I asked him. He's going to a baseball game, but I wanted to get some of his experience with that. But he chatted with me for a few minutes. He absolutely loves the Avata too.
He did some fun stuff with it today. Yeah.
He did some great things with that, and I'll let him. We'll try to get him on some other time here. So here's the article about the X4. You guys can go ahead and read that to your heart's content. I didn't even see. Okay, the price is $500. It's available to buy right now. So
where's Ron Brown when you need him?
Absolutely. Yeah, he would be he's the Jedi Master of the Insta360. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it has some fantastic capabilities. I watched the video today. So maybe we can get Ron to comment on this a little bit later.
So I got to ask you, Bill, I don't mean to go backwards here, but was Fimi bugging you to review their new Mini?
No, I did not get any knocks on the door from Fimi.
I've been getting emails from them, and initially I thought, oh, okay, they're going to send me one for review, and they said no, but we'll give you a discount. So we'll have to see. If I could buy it for $100 or something, maybe I would. But anything beyond that, I can't imagine.
We'll give you a coupon for $10 off or something. Yeah.
Exactly, and I mean it's just an incremental change from the FIMI Mini version 2. Yeah, it's a different camera and a few other things. The one thing that I do like about it is it's got hyperlapse capability now, which is kind of cool. But I heard you when you were talking about it. These second tier drone manufacturers, they just I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Marcus. It's like I know, and Richard, thank you for all the updates that you give us about FIMI. I really appreciate that. That keeps me, I know, and probably I know Mark, it keeps Ron and Marcus in the loop as well too. But it seems like it's very. I want to use the word frustrating. Okay, that best describes FIMI to me.
Here's what I know about that drone, Bill. That the FIMI Mini version 3. They'd send it to me. I'd fly it to make a couple review videos. And other than that, I wouldn't fly it. Why would I when I've got the DJI Mini 4, this Avata, my Mavic 3? It's just they're not at that level. And there's always issues with them. So why do you want to fight a product when you have other drones that they just work good out of the box?
Right. And and I said during my little talk about the FIMI, I'm like, how many years has the X8 SE 2022, that style been out, okay? And how many years and how many drones, different versions, have all had that horizon tilt issue, okay? My gosh, thank God that they didn't have anything to do with our moon landing program, okay? Yeah. Seriously.
Here's what I will say, though, in their defense, there is a market for the price points that they're selling those drones at. The X8 SE, is about $500 or so. So people, they're buying that, and they get a drone that has pretty good performance and flies okay. The camera quality just isn't what it is, and expect problems, because there will be problems. And the same thing with this Mini, it's a $300 drone. Well, it's a feature pack $300 drone. It has tracking. It has a bunch of, waypoints and things that the Mini 2 SE doesn't offer. So people think that, okay, they think they're getting a Mini 4 Pro at a bargain price. That just is not the case. But I do truly believe that there's a big market out there for those price points.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. And I had a conversation with my son-in-law who that was his first drone that he bought before it fell and it broke, and he replaced it with an Air 2, but Air 2S. But he said, he echoed exactly what you had to say. It is at a good price point for a lot of people, and Richard dropped a good comment too. It's a cult drone, and I agree with him. Okay, over in Southeast Asia. Oh yeah, Mr. Ron Brown is here.
I didn't interrupt you, Bill, but it startled me. I
caught you guys talking about my little FIMI Mini 3 there.
Ron, I'll tell you, were your ears burning a few minutes ago? Because we were talking about you.
Oh no, I was just joking or whatever.
No, we were talking. Bill brought up the Insta360, and Bill and I are both going, "Where's Ron when we need him?"
Yeah.
I was down at Best Buy getting my X4.
Yeah.
It looks like a good. I'm just sidebar here. It does look. I looked at some of the videos on it. It looks very interesting, to say the least. But for me, it's hard for me, and I don't know if Marcus, if you're the same way, to find a use case for that. For me,
Bill, it's the greatest consumer 360 camera ever made. But yeah, I've had I've had a couple of Insta360s. My problem isn't with the hardware; it's the software. I just don't dedicate myself to learn to do that reframing and everything. And what it's really hard for me to do, the good ones like our buddy Alex Carter, the editor, does. He actually can, take various clips and put them into a third-party editor like Adobe Premiere or whatever. But up until just recently on Insta360 software, you can only put one clip you shoot on a timeline. So if I shot 5 different clips and I wanted to edit them all together, I would have to like edit them individually in the Insta360 software and then send them out to another software like Premiere Pro and Vision. So basically, what I intend to be a quick video that turns into an editing snaggle thing or whatever, because I mean, I know people do it all the time, have it down to a T. But it's it is great, Eddie, but it's a world of hurt unless you are really practiced at it.
That next comment though that Eddie just put up, he goes, Me mode makes it easy to reframe the videos now.
Yeah, and Me mode was capped at 1080p until this new camera. Now you could do Me mode, I think at 4K now, but previously it was only available at 1080p. So and the other ones were always handicapped in such a way, like things like that. The good things, you couldn't do at the highest, frame rates and video quality, whatever. But the 8K is going to be a big deal because, when you reframe all that stuff, you would previously were 5.7K, but you'd reframe that down. You were lucky if you had 1080p when you got done all your reframing. So that 8K, maybe you can reframe that closer to 4K now, whatever. But you could talk all night about this.
Well, one more comment I see that's interesting. Mark White is saying, not to mention the fact that it's so damn difficult to create spatially oriented audio track. And that totally makes sense to me, right? Because depending on which way you're looking with that camera, if there's somebody behind you talking or whatever. So that makes
I mean, typically, you see the videos that are posted on YouTube, they're usually just like music behind them or whatever. You see very little like kind of talking head type 360 videos, but there are some people have figured it out.
Yeah, but also like Eddie says, it's really B-roll is probably where you would use it the most.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're a master of it like Eddie and Alex Carter, it can really add something to your video, but it's a commitment to learn. I mean, shooting is easy. You just turn the camera on and shoot. It takes everything. So that's the easy part. But it's when you get that video home, like Marcus and I and Bill, we typically shoot an action camera, so that video is easy peasy. You just blend it right in with your drone footage, and it's no work to be done at all, really.
Yeah.
Until recently, sometimes the action camera video is better than the drone video. It's only recently that the drones have video quality have got better than the action cameras.
Well, I'll tell you, it's still that way when you fly a FEMI, Ron.
The comments are coming in now. So many of Marcus' videos over the year with he calls it second-tier drones. When he's doing his B-roll, when he's doing his selfie, whatever, the video looks great. But as soon as he cuts away to the drone video, it doesn't look so good anymore.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about this is, and I think all of us would agree, I want to go in, when I'm doing, and I worked on like 4 or 5 videos today myself. When I go in there to do that, I know the process, and I know, like, if I'm loading something from the action cam, if I'm loading something from the drone, if I'm loading B-roll from my phone, it's easy to work with. I know what to do. Okay. With something like this, bringing it into a workflow like that, I'm like, holy crap. Why do I want to overly complicate my workflow for something like this? I want something I'm going to be able to take and get in and get it on my timeline and let it roll.
Well, along those lines, look at Alan's comment there, Drone Views Media, and Ron will like that.
Join the Osmo Pocket 3. I definitely add to my drone videos. Yeah, and again, that the Pocket 3 may be one of those things that probably, unless you're shooting with a real high end drone, that's the video come out better than your drone.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Eddie makes a good point here. The Insta360 desktop studio app just got updated recently, and now it lets you do what I talked about. You could take various clips you shot on the Insta360 and edit them all together timeline. But that update has just been out a few weeks now. So Insta360, they're as much a software company as a hardware company. The software and hardware, they're tightly integrated, and one's just as important as the other. So just if anybody got the wrong idea, I'm not down on Insta360 or the new X4. They make great products as a 360, great cameras. You just got to go in. If you go in as a newbie here, you got to understand there's a learning curve.
Well, I sure like my go-to, Ron, my Insta360 go-to, simply because it's so small and light, and you only can take short clips with it because it has limited battery and overheats and so forth, which they're upfront about that. Nobody's trying to
right. They're not misleading you.
Yeah, just for short clips. But in those situations, you can mount it on the bill of a ball cap or whatever. You don't even know it's there. But to your point, again, I always have to process that footage before I put it into my regular editor.
And you seem to prefer the DJI Action 2 as your kind of small point of view camera, don't you?
I have been using the Action 2, but there's still that go-to is still better in certain situations because of, and it only shoots in 2.7K, but because it's so small and so lightweight, I can put it on the window of my Corvette when I'm drag racing, and it's a tiny little thing. Nobody even notices that it's there. Sometimes when I'm doing a drone video, I can mount it on a ball cap. You don't even try putting an action camera on a bill of a ball cap. That's an old trick that a lot of people used to do.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it's tilting down like this.
Yeah, of course. In the old days when we did it for our toy drone videos, the action camera is a lot smaller than they are nowadays.
Yeah, well,
they've grown a lot over the years in size and weight.
Now that I think about it, I need to get a set of those Ray-Bans like Eddie has.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So
sorry if we derailed your.
No.
You were finished up with the Phoebe 3. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last night. And Richard's already got one, in order. He's pretty excited about it. He thought we kind of had some misleading stuff. The stuff I was reading off was right from Phoebe's website or whatever. I wish him all luck. I hope the Phoebe 3 Mini is the best drone they ever put out.
Totally agree.
I hope I eat every bad word I ever said about Phoebe when that drone's out. So anybody thinks I'm down on Phoebe, that's not the case. If that drone's good, I'll sing the choruses to the hills on how good it is.
Let me modify that a little bit, Ron, from my opinion. I am down on Fimi to the extent that I've had a lot of experience with them, and I've seen the issues that they have, right? And every Fimi drone I've ever had has had.
And we talked about this off camera. We both, what we don't like is there's no growth, really. There's not enough growth in the company of the drone.
Exactly. So the Mini 3, it's just a tarted up Mini 2 is what it is. I mean, it's not really there's nothing that new about it other than adding some features and a different sensor in the camera. Okay, let's hope they upgraded the processor and those other things. However, like Ron says, I wish them the best. I hope it's the best mini drone out there. But my experience,
I wish them well too. And Richard earlier brought a good point up. They really kind of do, believe it or not, they do help push DJI. Okay, and but for what it's worth. My only other 2 cents that I want to add is this, okay? They seem to be stuck in a rut in terms of the design for these drones. I mean, the X8 series is very stale. It needs an update big time. And the mini drones, it's the same drone, physical body. It's the same thing.
They do these little incremental changes, and then they do a big splash like it's a new drone. So
I mean, of course, the one credit I'll give them, they've held the price at $299,
and that's a good point. That's an excellent point, and that I think is even more so when you're talking about the X8 SE, the bigger drone, because it's around $500. Well, that's pretty cheap now for a drone with that level of flight performance. To me, the jury is still out. I've just not seen one of their cameras yet that I thought was even close to a DJI, not even close.
Or even Autel.
Or even Autel. Well, Autel, their cameras are great. Yeah.
Well, I have a little bit of an update from Specta. Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually heard from my contact. Okay. And Marcus, be patient with them. Okay.
Now, Bill, are these contacts in Malaysia?
I think they're in Hong Kong.
Okay. Okay.
I really think they're in Hong Kong here.
Okay.
Now, I did find out. Okay. Let's go ahead, and I actually posted excerpts from an email. All right. And let me see if I can bring this up here. Okay. We're sorry we don't have a link yet. I asked them about purchasing accessories. You can check product prices and make a transfer. In other words, they wanted you to do a bank transfer. Okay.
Oh.
Now, one piece of information that I did get was that the battery is $159. Okay. The same thing as the Air 3. Okay. Air propellers are $12. Okay. And he did list bank transfer instructions if I wanted to go ahead and get it right now. Okay. And I told him, I said, I'm going to wait. And what he did tell me was, let's go ahead and go to the next one.
Now, Bill, is this the battery or the whole drone?
Battery.
This is a battery. Okay. Dear Bill, we're preparing to sell on Amazon and expect to go online before June. We'll notify you as soon as possible after it goes online. Okay. So they're probably sometime during the month of May, they'll be available. Now, I did get another email that I didn't put up here that said when they ship them, they don't have a box, or they don't have labeling for the battery or for the props at this point in time. But I think that's one of the things that they're waiting for, is getting packaging together for these to be able to go ahead and sell them. Because, when I asked them for a link, well, they told me in an earlier email, well, you can go ahead and buy it now. And I'm like, well, there's no link. And then that's when I ended up getting this email. The other piece of news is this: they still haven't given me a date when I can go ahead and publish the Specta Mini video. That's still to be determined. And I think a lot of it's being driven with their website. And I think they want to get it up and running and functional. And I think they want to get accessories for the Mini to go as well too. So I think that's kind of where they're at right now in terms of all this stuff.
Okay.
So
now, Bill, we know that the Spectra, whatever the one they call it, that's the Air 3, that's available to purchase on Amazon. Is the Mini available to purchase on Amazon yet?
No, not yet. Okay. And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for. They told me they'll give me. It's not like an NDA, okay? Yeah. But they don't want me to publish the video until the Mini gets out on Amazon.
Yeah, obviously they want the timing right. Right.
Yeah, so sense. Stay tuned for all this. More to come on this. Yeah. I'm real excited. I didn't get a chance to get out and fly the Mini yet. I'm going to probably do that this weekend. I chose to do something, and I was telling everybody when I started the show off tonight, I chose to do something. I was going to go out and fly the Mavic 3 Pro. It was ready to rock and roll and everything.
Oh yeah.
But I chose to go with Valerie to go visit her mom. Her mom's 82. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Ron, going to visit your dad and stuff. Okay. I'll go do that all day long and twice on Sunday compared to flying drones. Okay. Right. Because, seeing them, it's like my mother-in-law is like my mother to me. Okay. And I enjoy spending that time with them. So, but stay tuned. I got 4 videos coming out over the next few days. I've been a busy beaver about that. So, So stay tuned for this. That's kind of like a work in progress kind of a thing. So
ring that bell, right? So you'll know when the new videos come out.
Yes, ring that bell. I'm trying to get. Okay. All right. Where are we here? All right.
And by the way, I don't know if you guys mentioned the Insta360 Insta360 X4 is $499.
Right, it's $499. I did see that.
Is that a good deal, Ron?
Well, the previous one was $449, I believe. So, and that was 2 years ago. So $50 inflation, 2 years. I guess that's reasonable, right? But here's where it's not reasonable. Okay. Even though this is a 360 camera, it still kind of falls in the same category with the action cameras. You can get a Hero 12 or Action 4 for much less.
Hey, let me ask you.
You don't have the 360 stuff, of course, but you have better video quality.
Yep. Eddie says, amazing deal. Drone Nation approved. Hey, so let me ask you, Ron. They're saying it's 8K. Is that correct?
8K, yes.
So does that mean when you crop into a particular frame, that will be in 4K then?
Hopefully, when it was 5.7K on the previous generation, when you cropped in, cropped in or did the reframing, you had to call it, you were lucky to get 1080p.
Okay. Yeah.
Depending on how much you reframe the crop. So hopefully this will reframe down to around 4K.
Yeah.
Okay, here's an important one, Bill.
Yeah, it's an Air 3 and Mini 4 Pro firmware updates. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look at this. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I just wanted to mention the Mavic 3 Pro got a firmware update as well.
Okay.
That's a good teaser.
So new firmware updates for Mini 4 Pro Air 3 drone models. Mini 4 Pro Air 3 now compatible with DJI Goggles 3, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard from Johnny today. I kind of pinged him. I was telling Marcus earlier, Johnny wasn't able to make it because he's at a baseball game tonight. But he tried out the Goggles 3 today,
and he flew his Avata 2 with this controller.
Wow.
That's the big update, not just the goggles, but you can now fly the camera drones with your own controllers. You're not forced to use.
Ron, you can fly the Avata with this controller.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what Johnny did.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's absolutely positively incredible.
That's not so much what I want to do. What I want to do is fly my camera drones with your actual controller.
Totally agree. I agree with you.
And not that motion.
I agree.
The motion's good with the Avata, of course, but yeah. So go ahead, Bill. We cut you off there.
No. Do know that settings for gimbal parameters, manual focus, and intelligent flight modes will not be supported while using these drones with the goggles. Similarly, you cannot access the portrait mode on the Mini 4 Pro and the camera switching function on the Air 3 during the FPV flight, but you can take single shot 12 megapixel photos and record videos in 4K 60 or 1080p 60. For Mini 4 Pro, you can update the aircraft firmware to V01000.0400, while the DJI RC2 remote controller firmware can now be updated to V02.02.0000. For DJI RC N2 firmware, V01.01.0300 is available. So for Air 3, update the aircraft firmware to V0100.1200 and remote controller to V0202.0000. And for DJI RC2 to V01.00.0700 for DJI RC N2. You need also to update the DJI Fly app to V1.13.10 to see the new features. Okay, so that's a huge update. So Marcus, what was the update for the Mavic 3?
You know what? It was just some allowing to put your name on some Chinese thing. Yeah, and of course, usually the minor bug fixes.
Minor bug fixes.
Minor bug fix. Yeah.
Hey, Bill, Drone Guy 42 Adventures in chat says the Air 2S got an update today as well.
Well, a lot of updates. I did my Mini 4 last night, and that was a huge update. It took a while to get that one done, but I think I better get my my Air 3 out there updated. Yeah.
And Bill mentioned in that article that a lot of the automated functions did not work when you're in a goggle mode, which is kind of okay, Marcus, because when you're doing the automated features, the drones kind of fly itself, so you don't really need the goggle view at that point.
I totally agree with you, Ron. I was thinking exactly the same thing. Now, not being able to switch cameras, maybe, but if it is a really super bright sunny day, to be able to have that clear view. And while we're talking about that, Ron, you'll be interested in this. And I've talked a lot about how the way my eyes work, and really I have monocular vision. And one of the problems that I've always had with DJI goggles is I could not see the whole screen.
Right.
I could adjust the pupillary deal where I could really see good on one side or really see good on the other. But one side would always be a little bit. Ron, the new goggles 3, I can see the whole screen perfectly.
Wow. After you picked Syrup, did you get a chance to get a little flight in, or was it still too windy?
I haven't. Well, I purposely have not flown it, and I'll explain why. I got it all updated, did all the updates, got it all registered with the FAA and all that, got everything charged up, went in and got all my settings, Ron, went through all the settings and got them where I wanted it. But I like to show in my videos, I really like people to see my first flight with the drone, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's the way most people are going to, they're going to experience that drone for the first time. And I figure if I stumble through something, it may, may be able to help somebody. So that's why I didn't fly it today. And I'm going to, tomorrow, I'm going to take it out to Lucky Peak Reservoir and do a flight with it. And it will be my very first flight with the drone.
Well, I'm more of a stumbler than you are, Mark, because I can actually fly the drone for the first time off camera, do it on camera, and stumble almost as bad when the second flight. I can replicate the stumble really well in the second flight too, because it takes a couple times to get all the new stuff down. So that's not a problem for me. Stumbling. I stumbled through a recorded video today, and I stumbled almost just as bad as I did yesterday. Just getting used to it. Bill, I guess what I did figure out the Easy Acro today.
Oh, the Easy Acro, good.
I figured out the Easy Acro, and by the help of Bill, the chat helped me out last night. Tom Dowling told me you have to be in normal, you can't be in sport mode. Do the Easy Acros, and then Mike Wright told me to move. You have a selector on the side when you pull it up of what Easy Acro mode you want to do, and you have to use this wheel,
the little wheel
on the side. I was trying to use this one, the one on the goggles, but you have to use this, the select. And man, they were, they were pretty cool. I'm going to say they're really cool. Whether I'll be using them 6 months from now, I don't know, but they're really cool right now. So
Ron, I wanted to mention our friend Alex Escardo in his first video, which is interesting because Alex is a hardcore camera drone guy, but
just to set people up, he didn't have the Avata 1. This is the first FPV drone
ever. Alex has ever messed with, and he got the Avata 2, and I love the way he presented it. He did it just like I would. Man, this is my first flight. Let me try this out. And he did just like I did the first time. He was trying to twist like this to turn instead of tilt. And it was cool to watch the process. He was getting frustrated, but very quickly he figured that out, how to make it turn, and boom, he was off to the races. He was going between trees.
Mark, you missed the best part. About a minute after using it, he said, "Oh man, I got to get the sticks. I got to buy the sticks.
Yeah, I got to get the sticks. Yeah,
I got to get the sticks.
Yeah.
This is a learning curve. It's not a hard learning curve. It's an easy learning curve, but it is a learning curve the first couple of times you pick this thing up, Bill.
Now, I was going to say with that, and I think this is probably one of the best experiences because I'm very ready to take the dive. Just financially right now, it's not going to happen for another month or so because we're headed to Ham Bench in Dayton next month. But one of the things I think that really helps with that.
Let's make Bill jealous. Hold it up. Let's make.
Yeah, there you go. One of the things I think that really helps with getting people oriented to this, okay, is when you stop, it will stop and it will hover, okay? Unlike one of the, somebody FP, what you normally think of an FPV drone.
Yeah.
So Bill, they upgraded this one even further.
Yes.
So the trigger now, if you just let go of the trigger, the drone, you can tilt the thing or whatever, and the drone will still just hover there.
Yeah, it's not.
Previously, you had to push
it stops. It stops. Yeah, it didn't have that stop in the first.
Right. Yeah, you pull it down to the stop, and then it'll move. You can tilt, and it'll move. But previously, you'd have to hit the button to say, "Hey, don't take commands from the motion controller."
Because everybody, when they first did it or whatever, you would invariably like start moving this around, and you don't want to be drones flopping all over on you. Whatever doesn't happen with this one. With that,
doesn't happen now.
Doesn't happen. So, in other words, it's much easier to take the drone off and get it up in the air. I mean, Bill, not much either. It's almost like I don't know, like what do you call child's play now? Is that a good term, Marcus?
I would agree. Hey, Jerry Bauer's got a good comment there. He flew his Mini 4 Pro with the with I assume the goggles 3, Jerry. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, because the Mini 4, you could fly that with the Integras of the goggle too.
You could with the Integras, yeah.
So that has, I think, Bill. I don't want to jump the gun here, but then I don't want to be what do you call it? I'm not trying to be a salesman here, but I mean, this may be the best drone, one of the best drones DJI has ever released. I mean, they fixed everything was wrong with the first one. I mean, it's almost the perfect drone. I don't, how usually you have some kind of complaint, even with the best drone. I can't tell you one thing that what they did wrong with this. They thought of everything, Bill.
Okay, and I got a question for you too, and this is just for me because I've seen some getting started videos and everything on this. Okay, with the goggles. Okay, how easy is it to, when you're sitting down or standing up or whatever you're doing? How easy is it to get adjusted to something like that, especially your eyes? Because I know you have, these have to come off, and then you make your adjustments inside. How easy is that? I mean, is that fairly straightforward?
Bill, I can, you got the diopters down here. You put your setting in. I mean, you don't have. I had to know my prescription Integras because I had to put the right ones in. You just fiddle until you see clear. I can see clearer out of this than I can with my glasses, with my eyes and my glasses. I'm clear, but glasses off in this one. It's crystal clear.
Wow.
I mean, like when I was flying along today, Marcus always talks about the little thin branches of wires that can get you. With this, I can see the little thin I could see little thin wires that I was flying near.
We're trying to tempt you, Bill. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, you're doing a great job. I'll tell you that. Okay.
And Bill, this headpiece up here is amazing too. It moves. And you can adjust it. So you people used to complain that the goggle hurt their nose or face some way. This takes all the pressure off like your nose area. And I could fly 3 batteries, and when I'm done, I'm not. It doesn't even bother me. I could fly more or whatever. So they're very comfortable. I mean, these goggles are perfect. I mean, as far as the fit, the quality, the ability to adjust the diopters, no matter how bad your eyesight is. It's almost like they're perfect. And they have, of course, the cameras on the front. I haven't figured it. Marcus, today I forgot to work on it, but I still haven't. I've done it in the house, but out in the field, I still haven't got these cameras to work yet in the house. If I hit this, the one little button.
The button on the
if you double tap this, it works. No, I got that to work. No matter I could tap it 1,000,000 times on either side. I cannot get it to work. I have to use what's on the Motion 3.
Of course, I only did the double tap in the house, but it worked. I mean, I was just sitting here in my chair.
I'm sure it's just me. I'm sure it's a Ron problem. It must be. You must have to tap in a particular way, and I'm tapping the exact opposite way that they want you to.
Yeah.
Question for you guys, okay? When you're doing a screen recording, okay, how does that I'm a curious George on this. Yeah. So how does that work
I'll tell you what I did. This is just my setup. People do it differently. I set up mine so that it automatically begins recording on the drone and screen recording in the goggles.
Oh, you can automatically screen record in the goggles too. Okay, I didn't know that.
Right. So they both record, and the reason is, like Johnny says, well, often I don't even record because I'm just on a pleasure flight. Okay, I get that. But what if there was something that you saw on that flight that you might want that?
What if Bigfoot ran by?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Or what if you had a crash and it's up in a tree or something? At least you'd have that photographic evidence of where it's at and so forth.
That's a good point.
And then if you don't want the footage, you just delete it, right? You just format the card and it's gone.
Right. Now I'll give you the other one, Bill. I knew you could automatically record, to the memory inside the drone, but I did not know you could automatically do the screen record. But you go in the goggles and you can pull down a menu from the top. And you can pull up a menu from here and you pull a menu from there. But you pull the menu down to the top, and the very first command on the left is record. And that doesn't mean record on the drone. That means that's the screen recording for the goggles. Okay. And you have to have a memory card in it, of course, to do that. So, right. But that's how I just, and I don't always screen record, but if I do, like today, I wanted to, I just tap that thing as soon as I start the goggles up. Now, Marcus, what about audio? Now, what I did to get audio today, I put the DJI wireless mic to it and just recorded right to the mic, so I didn't have to worry. But the goggles, it doesn't record audio in any way, does it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the other part of it, Bill. So when you go into the menu in the goggles, you can tell it to auto record one or the other or both.
Okay.
So, and I chose both. And
that's smart.
I'm going to make an argument, Ron, that you do a screen recording every time. And if you don't use it, who cares? You just format it and.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know there was an auto feature in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I will if it's an auto feature, but sometimes I'm just trying to get a quick flight in because the sun's setting fast. I don't have a lot of time to mess around with a bunch of settings. But knowing it's the auto one, yeah. And of course, it records that as 1080p, correct? The screen recording.
I'd have to look.
720.
I don't remember.
Well, anyhow, it's a small. It doesn't take up a lot of file room. You can record. You put like 128 gig, even 64. You can record forever at 1080p or less.
Yeah. So Mike is saying you can screen record to your phone too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And Jerry's bringing up that wireless deal where you can have
another device that has the
fly app. That is so flipping cool.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet, but I can't say where I saw it, Bill, but I did see somebody having a phone plugged into the USB port.
It might have been before the official release, but we
getting a feed or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question for you guys at the meetup. Okay, did Billy have an Avata 2 there?
We'll never say.
Never gonna say. You're under. You're. Mum's the word.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you who must have, because in one of Dono's videos, he's flying over the South Florida drone meetup. It's the meetup going on right below. So I'll see. Well,
that's public knowledge, isn't it? Yeah.
Public knowledge. Yeah.
Well, it's really for me. Oh, and I got to ask. Okay, has anybody seen footage of anybody flying it with the RC2 yet or not? Have you seen anybody with that?
No footage yet, but the only thing I know is Johnny told me that he did it today. That's
okay.
And he has a witness because he was with Captain Joe America.
Captain Joe, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So see, I'm real interested in that as well too, because it gives you a nice transition. You're flying with goggles for a while. Let's just use a controller, and just do that for a while as well too. I mean, the options on this are just insanely incredible, and the improvements that they did were, talk about a company that really listens. Okay, because everything that was wrong with the Avata 2, they've upgraded, or on the Avata 1, they've upgraded on the Avata 2. They've done their homework.
Yeah, whose video did I see today? Lance Cadena in California. He was complaining that he felt like when he was trying to get low to the ground, that these two new cameras at the rear.
I've seen somebody else say that too.
Yeah, he said he didn't think he could get as low as he wanted to, going through some obstacles.
Yeah, remember, was Lance the one to start that thing last year where they were trying to fly a contest to see who could fly low to the ground or whatever? Maybe a lot of people did, but that's kind of an edge case thing. I don't need to fly 1 inch off the ground.
I know just the place to try it out, and I will try it out at some point too.
And Bill, did you realize that just like the Air 3, that you could put 3 partially charged batteries in here, hit this button here until it turns like whatever, green or red, and it'll move the charge to from to the battery that's most charged.
Okay, okay, good.
They stole that from the Air 3.
But that's the other point that I was trying to make, that is so much more refined about this than the original Avata. It's got a traditional style battery. Instead of having
fall out if you hit something.
Yeah,
it's in there solid.
And it's already connected. The other one you had, it was kind of an XT60, not XT60, but that style.
Yeah, it looked like you were a home built FPV drone flyer with that thing.
Where's the SD card go?
In the side now.
Which
is
and the SD and the USB C ports under there, Bill. And also you could charge it. You don't have to put the battery in the charger. You could charge it right in the drone there.
Wow.
I mean, this thing has everything, Bill. Everything.
It's way more finished, is what I would say.
It basically packed all the good technology from all of DJI's other devices into one thing. Like even the getting the good camera from the Action 4, putting it in there.
So Joe is correcting us here.
Okay.
He's saying that Johnny flew the Air 3 with the goggles and the RC2. Okay.
That was Johnny's intention, what he told me he was going to do.
Yeah, and the only thing he flew the Avata 2 only with the motion controller 3.
Because I don't think Captain Joe or Johnny have the FPV3 yet.
Yeah, the controller. No,
unless I totally missed something. I made Captain Joe a witness of whatever, and we got to get it straight what he saw.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Joe. Appreciate it.
Yes, Captain Joe. Thank you for that.
And Captain Joe, Bill, I don't know if you knew this, but he's the first person I saw outside of influencer we got early put a flight video up for the Avata 2.
He didn't waste any time.
Bill,
I saw that. I commented on his video. I'm like,
that drone came out 9 a.m. Thursday morning, the 11th.
Yeah. I told him, I said, how did you get it so fast?
Hey, Captain Joe, was the plastic still cured or was it still soft when you did that?
Captain Joe had a flight video up, I think, by 5 o'clock that day. He went by a local Best Buy and had it in the shelf. Well, Bill, Johnny and I ordered that thing during the show. When Johnny said he did it off the show, and once Billy came to the show and Billy was talking, I ordered it. I ordered it approximately between 9:05 and 9:10. I received it by noon the next day. And Johnny even ordered it from DJI, but once he found out he could get it one day from Amazon, he switched orders. But guess what? His DJI one still showed up too, so Johnny's got 2 of them. But he said that. But I had the same thing happen. If you order from DJI, even if you contact them in 4 or 5 hours, they can't cancel the order. I mean, once the order's in the pipeline, it's like a robot. It can't be stopped or whatever. And they know it. They're wasting a lot of shipping money shipping that thing out to you when they know you've canceled it. It's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing over there. And I don't
their logistics
because this was a perfect release, but
I agree, because that happened to me with like when I got my Action 4. Yeah, I decided to go ahead and get it on Amazon instead, and I canceled the order with DJI, and they said it's canceled. I said, good, okay. And next thing I know, I'm getting tracking information on the Action 4 that I ordered from DJI, and I'm like, and then 5 minutes later they sent me the email with the return label. Okay,
same thing. It didn't cost me anything except I still had to run down to the but I did have to run by the UPS store and drop it off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it did cost me a trip down to the UPS store, but hey, I can handle that. So that's
I mean, it's just down the street for me, but some people. But Bill, I cannot be happier with the release of this drone. The way it came out, the way it shipped fast, the way it was priced less than the previous model, and then when you actually get the drone and all the components work even better than the influencers didn't do it justice. It's better than the influencers said it was.
Hey, Ron, what I want you to talk about too is of us on the panel right now, you're the only one that's actually flown it yet. And you'd made some comments to me about how you felt it flew. Can you expand on that a little?
Yeah, I mean, of course, on the stats, on the specs, it flies. It's no faster than the other one, but it definitely handles much better in the wind. It flies smoother. You don't get as much wobble. Again, definitely handles the wind. I mean, today the flying I was doing today, I mean, it was breezy. I would have had problems with the Avata one. Would have had to keep it real low. I'll shoot this thing up to 100 feet. I may get the wind warnings, but it's fine. The 04 transmission, I can get behind things more. Where you can stay low to the ground more. Even have objects kind of in the way. I mean when I say object, I don't mean like a skyscraper, but I mean like a lifeguard stand. Won't cause me any signals. Just 04 much better. Especially when it fly low. Handles the wind much better. Just what do you used to say Marcus, when you try and talk about the way the drone flies, you'll say a certain saying.
Athletic.
Yeah, well, you always say another saying when you talk about how the drone flies, but just I didn't tune it up anyways. I didn't adjust any settings in it, and I've flown 6 batteries now with this. I really enjoy flying this drone. The Avata one, mean, I guess I kind of enjoyed it, but not at this level.
I'm not knocking the Avata 1. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to knock it, but this
this
thing takes it to a whole new level, Bill. This is like we went from the Avata 1 to the Avata 3 or something like that. It's
wow.
You're really making me want to just take it out and fly it right now, Ron.
Fly it around the office once, because you don't have to. That won't ruin the experience because you never fly in the office anyway. So
yeah.
But, I got another question for you guys. Okay, when you're in flight, okay, and I know there's taps on the side where you can do things to adjust it. Is there anything you need to do while you're flying with that, or is everything really handled with a controller?
Yeah, there's a 5-way switch on the top of the goggles right here if you need to get into the menus and stuff.
But that's got nothing to do with flying a drone. It's just to change the settings.
But the other thing that they changed that is so flippin' cool is if you let go of that trigger and you're just in neutral and it's hovering there, Ron, do you then get that that cursor that you can move with the controller?
Yeah, as soon as you hit it, before you take off, you move this around, but the cursor go around the goggles. But even if you stop and hit the pause button, the cursor comes back in the air again.
Okay, that's the part that I wasn't clear on. But so, Bill, you and there's an arrow on the cursor, so it's really easy to move it around. You can point it at all of the menus and click on them and do what you need to do.
You don't even need that. You don't even need the 5-way switch anymore on the goggles.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question.
The goggle. It has the it has an on-off button and a USB port down here for charging, and then the ones you're talking to are underneath this thing up here.
So that 5-way switch.
This is the the 5-way switch, and then this is a back button.
The back button. Anytime you need to return to the previous menu, you just hit that.
And that's the only buttons on the thing.
Okay, did either of you get the regular FPV controller besides the motion controller?
No. Was it available on day one?
Yeah, it showed available on day one. So
yeah. I did not because I had the one for the last drone, and one of the influencers already said in about 30 days they'll make the FPV2 controller compatible with the Avata 2. It just won't have the Oculus Thing 4.
Hey, so there's also a rumor. I see Joe Fotolio's in the chat right now.
Joe, yeah.
There's a rumor that Joe Fotolio already put hot rod motors on an Avata 2. I don't know. Just a rumor.
If you want that done to yours,
it's just a rumor, and I'm the one that started the rumor, so take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, funny you say that. This drone doesn't need the motor upgrade.
Yeah.
Even though it's not faster, it definitely flies stronger. Oh, okay. What Captain Joe said, he flew in 14 to 17 mile per hour winds, only felt the wind with the Avata 1. The 2 did 36.4 into the wind, 8 inches off the ground, no issues. That's pretty low, but I probably flew in up to 17 mile per hour gusts today. And I did get high wind warnings here and there when I would raise up a little higher, but it gave the warning, but if you flew the Avata 1 in that type of wind, it kind of scared you if you got up more than about 20 feet, because the Avata 1 was prone to flip over if you did the kind of wrong maneuver with it, where this one it didn't feel like any time, never felt like it was going to flip.
So help me out with that, Ron. Obviously I only flew with the motion controller, so it was nothing I ever experienced, but what I understood was it was just the left turn at a certain velocity that it would try and flip over like that, the original Avata.
Yeah, I mean, I only ever experienced what I thought was going to happen one time. I was flying over the ocean, and it seemed to almost flip over on me, but I recovered. And I thought I was flying straight ahead, but maybe I did make a left-hand maneuver at some point.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it looks like Michael just posted there 60-day timeline for the RC for the Avata 2. So
yes, I know it's kind of Bill. I probably I was one of those people packed with the Avata 1. I thought I didn't like this at first, so I packed and got the sticks. But I probably won't get the sticks with this because I have no intentions of flying acro. And also, I told you about how it was easier to take off with this one. That's why another thing I liked about the sticks on the Avata 1, it was easier to take off with that. You didn't have that whole thing we were talking about before.
Right.
It's real easy to get the drone up with the thing. But I mean, if you're a person, if you have a little problem, if you can't get the hang of this or whatever, you can get the sticks and you'll be golden.
Well, let's just back up a little bit. You remember when the Avata 1 first came out? Virtually all the reviews you saw, Billy's review, Ken Dono's review, they all flew it with the sticks at first, because just what Ron described, they all said, wow, you know, we're not going to like that motion controller. And what was interesting is that they all then ended up switching to the motion controller and loving it. So,
but they were late. That's accurate, Marcus. But what happened is they all did that. But when the consumers bought the drone, they all pulled it out and they love this thing. I mean, because like Johnny says, with that little zero that appears in the middle, he could put that drone through anything. He said he'll never fly as good with the sticks as he can with the motion control. So it's the people that paid for the drones. They're the ones who made this thing popular.
The other thing that's interesting about this is that it's smaller than the previous.
Much smaller.
A lot smaller. It's just fits just in the palm of your hand.
And I don't know, to me, it was no hindrance at all. I mean, I'm going to say it's better or worse, but I mean, it didn't bother me at all, the size change as far as flying a drone. Of course, smaller is better if you just to pack up and take with you, but flying, I didn't notice any cons, pros or cons either way with it being smaller. So,
I got to thank you. God.
Well, I just wanted to point out Mike's comment that fighter jets don't fly with sticks. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah,
that's very true. Thank you guys for answering my questions for me, because I mean, I've had a ton of them, and that's pretty much what I wanted to do tonight was to get an education on this. I mean, I've seen a ton of videos on it. I know Dobo actually flew his with the sticks. I watched his video. You know, I've watched several others as well too. But
I think every big influencer on YouTube's got at least one, possibly two videos up already.
Bill, I think you need to get Val in here. We'll convince her that you need to order.
Yeah.
Well,
and Bill, real quick, Marcus and I talked this here a little bit too. You know, this has horizon mode. So say you're out and you want to get some camera drone footage, but you don't have the camera drone footage. You can put this in horizon mode, and you won't be able to tell through the goggles, because the goggles to weave. But when you get it home, it'll just be, you know, that perfectly level footage. It'll look like you flew the Mini 4 Pro if you put it in horizon mode. I mean, the output of the footage when you get home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
At probably the same video quality or better.
One more comment while I'm thinking about it, and I'm interested to hear what Ron says about this. I'm willing to bet that this has been one of the most successful introductions that DJI has ever had. And by successful, I mean in just pure sales, because almost everybody we know has bought one, or they're like you, Bill, they're itching to buy one.
Yeah, upgrades straight up, like Alex Carter never had one before. Bill, I know it's only April, but I'm already declaring this the drone of the year.
Wow,
that's saying something.
That's a bold.
One quick point too. Tom Dowling explained this to us last night. It advertises it has HDR. There's no HDR button on the settings. Anyways, it just goes into HDR when it needs HDR.
Okay.
You know who
it films in HDR.
Well, I just thought of this. Ray Kelly was even talking about buying one too, and Ray Kelly.
Ray even said in Florida that he looked at the first one and he's really looked at this one, and even somebody like Ray, a camera drone devotee just like Marcus and I, you can easily go from a camera drone this in about 2 or 3 flights. Getting used to this, you're good. It takes about 2 or 3 flights with this controller, and you're good.
Ron's other comment that you've been making quite a bit, Ron, that a total beginner for their first drone could buy the Avata 2 and be just fine.
Because they don't have to unlearn the sticks. They'll probably get the motion even quicker.
That's a good point. Okay, last question that I have for both of you, okay? Do you stand up or sit down when you're flying your Avata 2?
Well, obviously I haven't flown the Avata 2, but I can tell you with the Avata, I've always sat down just because I don't have very good balance anyway, and so it just made sense to me. I might be able to stand up. I haven't tried it much.
I'm one of those lucky people. I mean, even though I have bounces because I have bad ear, I have no problem standing up and flying it. But today, I even stood on top of like a walk over the bulkhead, like a wood stairway, and the stairway was moving a little bit. So I did have a little bit going on there, flying a drone on something that was moving. But I could stand up. I sat down at some point today because there was a bench handy, but I could stand up, lean against the car. I have no issues with that. But but Marcus, right, Bill, when you first started, bring yourself a little lawn chair and sit down, until you get acclimated.
And I've also done it just leaning against the hood of my truck.
Leaning works well too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bill, your first flight, you bring a little chair along. It doesn't hurt. Get acclimated, with a little lawn chair.
See, I see what you're doing there, Ron, for your first flight. So basically, you're saying he's going to get one. So
a matter of time or whatever. Yeah. He can probably sell a $799 drone for a certain amount of money, and it could be free.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Well, any closing thoughts to wrap things up here tonight, guys?
I say this every year, but springtime is one of the best times to get out and fly your drone. We're starting to get some reliably good weather every once in a while. And before it gets blazing hot and you don't want to go out in the middle of the day and fly, get out there and fly your drone, have fun. And it's so exciting when products like this come out. So just get out there and have fun. Ron and Bill and I do.
And I'm going to do the counterpoint to Marcus. And where I live, the spring's the windiest time of year. So this is one of the worst seasons for flying here. You really have to pick and choose. But my real thought, Bill, is we waited all year for some real news, right? And now we get the Avata 2. We got news of a FEMI Mini 3 coming. We talked there's even a Hubsan Enterprise drone coming. I forget what it's called already. We got the Insta360. Things are heating up, Bill. What's been a slow year so far, things are heating up. And there's still that rumor out there that DJI is going to have something else coming out next, and we won't have to wait too long for that. So things are heating up, Bill. That's all.
They are, and I'm gonna echo your sentiments. The weather is turning nice. It was 92 today. Okay, wow. You guys came to Florida at a perfect time. The weather was absolutely. You couldn't have textbook ordered the weather better for the South Florida drone meetup. It was just absolutely perfect.
Bill,
I didn't get a raindrop on me the whole 8 days I was there, Bill.
So after the meetup, I spent 3 days at Disney World in Orlando. Man, it was beautiful. It was shirt sleeve weather, little breeze blowing all the time. It was perfect weather.
It was, and now all of a sudden, see, we kind of skipped spring here. All right, 92 today already. We didn't get the oppressive humidity. But they're talking about the humidity is going to be coming like next week, and we haven't even hit May yet. Okay, it's just cuckoo crazy. I want to echo Marcus's sentiment. The weather's starting to get nice, and if you can get out and fly, I know up north, up in Ohio and Pennsylvania, the weather's starting to get nicer up there. And I know again with Ron, he's right. And I know up there historically this time of year it's kind of windy because the weather is starting to get nicer and all that. So be patient. But if you can get out and fly and enjoy it, I'm certainly going to do that this weekend. I'm going to get the Mavic 3 Pro up for the first time. I got the Specta Mini. I'm going to be getting that up, and I'm excited about Specta. Okay. They're providing us a DJI non-DJI option, and I like that, and I think there's going to be some good things coming from them. And with DJI, this is a home run for the Avata.
Oh, just don't tell Congresswoman Stefanik about that.
Absolutely, we won't. We'll be real quiet about that. That's for sure. So, guys, I want to thank you guys for a great chat tonight. You guys hit a home run in the chat. I know you do on Drone Nation on Monday night, and you guys do it again here.
Oh, we came back fired up for the drone meetup from seeing people like you, Bill, and all the other great folks down there. It kind of charged the batteries, Bill.
It really did. I mean, that's what I told Valerie. I mean, it's just like, we talked about it the whole way home. It was like, it was great seeing so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so.
I'm trying to get to spend more time with you, Bill, but it's just so many people there to talk to. It's hard to stay in one area that long.
Oh, I know. Well, one of the things that we're going to do next year, we're going to bring a couple of lawn chairs with us. Because our backs were a little on the sore side, so to speak. Yes. Okay. So, but thanks guys so much for stopping by tonight. Appreciate it. As always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, guys.
Good night.